how bad it feels to get heckled by a room full of motherfuckers with crocodiles on their sweater? Fuck Connecticut, fuck that. Room full of maniacs with cotton dockers on. I hated them all. Holy shit.
Nice, there he is. Yeah!
Man, you guys keep it real. Be comfortable, everybody. Listen, you know, you guys make me feel so much better. That shit was
I can't see when I said that.
a professional nightmare. It was like, and I knew it was gonna be on YouTube. I saw it on camera phones. I was like, they got me with the fucking reverse Kramer move. That shit was way worse than Kramer. Actually, Kramer was worse. He called, you know, it's weird. Kramer was the last time it hurt. Now, for real, when Kramer called the audience niggers, that shit really hurt. I'm a Seinfeld fan. Man, that's fucked up, man. I really like this show. I'm never gonna watch Kramer again. That was the black dude in me. The comedian in me was just like, whew. This nigga's having a tough show. Hang in there, Kramer. Don't let him break it. All those people in Hartford felt lucky. Like, oh man, we got to see Dave Chappelle freak out.
I'm not gonna not see it.
That's why people go to comedy shows. It's like going to see Siegfried and Roy the night the tiger bit that motherfucker's throat. I was there. That's why you go to the Tiger Show. You don't go to see somebody be safe. You go thinking in the back of your mind, this motherfucker might get bit.
Yeah, I'm like, damn.
I'd see that for $35. Celebrities freak out, man. You know, people have bad shows. Kramer had a bad show. I had a bad show. It happens. We all have bad shows sometimes. At least I didn't have to meet with Jesse Jackson after my shit. Kramer shit was way worse. I really wouldn't have enjoyed that meeting.
Finally. Fuck.
What were you thinking? Kramer, why did you call us all niggas? That's all. Oh my God, I know what I was thinking. Paula Dean got fired from the Food Network. Calling somebody nigger 3 decades ago. Amazing. I didn't know there was no statute of limitations for that shit. She made everybody think. I think I called somebody nigger in traffic once. I didn't really mean it. I was just frustrated, that's all. How fucking hard it is to get fired from the Food Network? It's fucked up what she said, but I did feel bad for her. As a matter of fact, I hired her as my personal chef. I can't wait. She starts next Thursday. Give it up for Paula Dean, that's right. I pay her extra to be me, and I'm gonna bust in the kitchen. I'ma fry you niggas some chicken. I'm gonna make you niggas some apple pie with homemade whipped cream, black motherfuckers. But you niggas are love it. Not the first racist kitchen I've ever eaten in. If you went to Kentucky Fried Chicken and everybody in the thing had Ku Klux Klan hoods on, wouldn't you still order the chicken? I wouldn't give a fuck. It's like being a celebrity. You're in your green room and a girl is sucking your dick. You never think things like, I wonder if she's doing this because she likes me for me. It really matter. It really matter why she's doing it. You get your dick stuck. Just don't worry about it. Don't try to think about her game. That's her game. It's a bad example, but you get the point. Yeah, I didn't say anything racist that show, but I got in trouble with the other show because I was doing a show and there was this couple in the audience in the front row. The wife was obviously Asian. The husband, his shit was more mysterious. You know what I mean? He could have been Mexican, might have been from Bangladesh. He's one of those guys, very mysterious look. Brown with very pretty hair. And I kept asking, where y'all from? And then the wife got fed up. Hey, motherfucker, I am from the United States of America, okay? If you're asking my ethnicity, I am Chinese. And the husband was like, I'm Mexican, bro. And then I said, okay, I was joking, but I go, oh, okay, well, you guys are gonna give birth to the hardest working baby that's ever lived. Obviously, that's a joke. Everybody knows babies don't work. In America, I don't know what's going on over there. I'm kidding, I do know what's going on. I was just in China. Yeah, I was in China, I had a very good time. I went and saw the Great Wall. If there's any Chinese people here, congratulations. It's a great wall. It was outstanding. There's no spray paint on it. It's like thousands of years old. It's the largest man-made object on Earth, so I've heard. It's just you have to see it to understand the scope of it. I didn't know that ancient Chinese people had Mexicans and other resources. And I'm not saying that. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. These are practice jokes. I'm not saying that Mexicans built the Great Wall of China. That is stupid. That'd be a bad joke. I am saying ancient Chinese people built the wall to keep Mexicans out of China. That's a pretty good joke. Very advanced idea. America didn't think of do that until 20 years ago. You understand this? I'm just practicing. Come on, let me scratch. Let me scratch. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of doing show business. I am tired of living in fear. You motherfuckers don't know what it's like to be mildly famous. I love you so much I wore leather sleeves. This is not the real me. You know how hard I look for this jacket? So you're wearing sunglasses. I know you're high. You're not fooling anybody. Takes one to know one, motherfucker. You can tell you just gave me a Fight Club look like. Scary being famous. I got a FedEx in the mail, okay? I didn't see it delivered. It was just sitting on my kitchen table. It's not too long ago. I opened it. It was addressed to me. There was a VHS video cassette inside. There was a post-it on the video cassette. The post-it said, and all it said, was gotcha. I don't know if you've ever, that shit felt really bad. Obviously, I freaked out. I like fucking started tearing my house apart. Looking for a VCR, I hadn't seen a video cassette. Posted this shit. I watched the tape. Yo, they fucking got me. Very bad. It was a tape of me. It's very embarrassing. It was a tape of me fucking a girl. It was from before I was married, but still, wasn't a good look. And then I looked at the clock and I saw my wife was coming home in 10 minutes. Then I really freaked out. Jerked off to the tape real fast. Then I called the FBI. It's a fucking nightmare. I'm sitting in my living room with the FBI watching this sex tape. You know, you'd be surprised what you think in a moment like that. I actually was hoping for some positive feedback. It's poker face, they ain't saying shit, they just write on the paper. Was that the end of the tape, Mr. Chappelle? I said, yeah, that's the end. 8 minutes, 34 seconds. I think he could tell I felt bad because he was trying to make me feel better. Mr. Chappelle, hey, try not to worry about this, okay? We see these kind of things a lot. I can't make any promises, but, you know, it looks good. I said, the tape looks good? He said, no, the tape's terrible, but your chances look good. Whoever did this is a real amateur. I said, I've never done that for money. He said, I'm not talking about your tape. Time went on. And then it takes about a week to get over it. If you ever get in a situation like that, I'm gonna tell you in advance. It takes about a week before you'll start feeling like itself. And in a week, it felt good again. It took about 9 days. 9 days later, I get another one of these fucking video cassettes in the mail. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, This one you might even see, I hope not. But that tape was way worse than the first tape. That's all I can say. Way worse. In fact, it was a tape of me jerking off to the first tape. I don't know how I get this kind of footage of who's doing this to me, but I'm scared. You know, this might come as a surprise to many of you. I didn't prepare a speech. But that's not because I didn't care. In fact, it's because I cared so much. If you could imagine sitting down and trying to write something about someone that you feel so much about, the way I feel about John, it's very difficult. I won this prize 2 years ago, and I'm imagining, John, that this is a surreal experience. I imagine you probably didn't even give a till last night. And then last night, you saw all your friends gathering, you saw everyone dressed nice, and you realized he was still alive to see this. It's like getting a preview to your funeral. In our line of work, context is everything. And me and John have a very unlikely friendship. The context of that friendship happened in a comedy club in New York City. John being 10 years my senior. I was 17. The first time I saw Jon Stewart, right before he walked in the door, I heard two waitresses at the club talking about how handsome he was. And then they go, oh my God, there he goes. And I looked over and I said, hey, he's all right.
So what happened was at night, I would go to the Comedy Cellar and they'd put me on as the last guy every night.
There's 6 billion people in the world. You can't make 6 billion anything without some of them being very up. Open up a bag of potato chips. What are there, 40 in there? At least 5 of them are burnt and bent over. And
It's the slot that they give someone that for some reason they think, let's just see what happens to this guy.
The thing I remember, being 17 in an adult world trying to make something of myself, is how kind he was. People like John made me feel safer. He's a friendly guy. Now, the early part of any comedian's career is embarrassing in hindsight because so many of us imitate our influences or try on different personalities to see what works. But John he's been the same since the very first time I met him. Nice and present. In 1999, he got The Daily Show. That show languished for 3 years before he got it. No disrespect to Craig Kilburn, but you know what I mean? Yuck. It was like the body of the show was there, but when John got the show, it had a soul. It made people take notice. And in 2002, suddenly, somehow, he became the most popular news show on television. Actually, I know how. He had a good lead-in, Chappelle Show. And in that context, it was post 9/11. My career was the first time that I can really remember that there was a stove too hot to touch. No comedian was allowed to talk about the war or Janet Jackson's titty coming out of the Super Bowl. You remember that? You remember that memo that went around? As we've all learned in our lives, wartime is crazy in America. They do what Noam Chomsky called manufacture consent, and the news was off the chain. And John was the only voice that helped people decipher that madness. It was a really remarkable thing to watch.
We told you that it wasn't going to go so well. Yes, we called it shock and awe, but we meant that in the way of you'll be shocked at how it doesn't go so well. And that will make you say, oh.
He's been a great friend to me. I'm not here because I love Jon Stewart. I'm here because he loves me. Because there's never been a time that I called on him and asked him for his help that he wasn't the first responder. When it was half-baked and I was doing my first movie and I needed a celebrity lift, John was the first one to say, I'll do it. I don't even know if you smoke weed. You seem like a coke guy.
The city close to where I live, Dayton, Ohio, had a terrible mass shooting. 9 people were killed, and I called my friends, and they all pulled up. But John, you were the first one that said, oh, I'll be there. And just days after that massacre, we took that neighborhood and made a much better memory for them. They saw love and support from voices that they trust. When we were on Comedy Central, I picked the brand of irreverence. I said, I'll touch everything they say I can't touch. But John's voice became one that was synonymous with trust. And he left right before the Trump administration, the most cynical time in American politics. A time when nobody trusts our media, where a guy like Donald Trump can just say fake news and he say, F it, I just believe this orange-head guy. And we miss you very much. During the pandemic, when my town was dying and I needed to help raise money to get the economy of the town straight, John was the first responder. He was terrified of COVID, and he got on a plane anyway after his friends had died, and he lost loved ones. He had the courage to get on a plane. He came out and met me, and we did shows that whole weekend. And every comic who came out there had been off for at least 100 nights. They were all nervous, and they were all scared, except for John. John did 25 minutes off the rip because he had something to say. Because he actually means what he says, because he actually thinks about what he says. A lot of comics will take this John for granted. The younger comics, they do what I call wokes. They're not jokes. They don't know the difference between a good point and a good joke. John is very true to the muse. He takes a good point and he makes a good joke of it. John is a miracle to watch you work. You are a cure to what ails our culture. You are a voice that people consistently trust. I wish that you'd run for president. But I imagine that would be hard for a Coke guy to do. When you started your career, you never imagined that you would reach a point like this. And the Mark Twain Prize might feel like a finish line or an end to a movie. It is not. It is a starter gun. You were still young. You were still strong. You were still funny. And I do not have the words to say in front of these people how much I love you and how much I respect you. But just know, whenever you call on me, I will come, because you have been one of the greatest friends that I've made in 35 years. Congratulations. I'm honored that you got this award. I'm sorry I got it before you, but I'm your lucky lead-in. Jon Stewart, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, baby. I can't thank you enough.
I love you, man. Thank you. I love you too.
Every cent of that $12,000 ticket done it. That's fantastic. Well, it's a pleasure to be here at the Illuminati bake sale, or wherever this thing is that I'm at. I gotta tell you, I was nervous. Hey, how you doing? You know, it's funny when you see a black person in a room like that, and you're like, oh, she owns BET. I normally don't do benefits. Not because I don't care, but because the crowds are historically stuffy. I don't like being judged. I love you, bro. In a very impersonal way, I should add. So I can't even see who said that. I haven't been back in New York in a while, especially for something like this. I was here years ago. And it was one of those times my wife was mad at me because I had said something terrible. These things happen in a marriage. We always say the meanest things to the people we love the most. And it's not that we mean them, it's just that we know that these people love us and they'll let us say these things. And it makes us feel better. So this particular time I was in town for a protest. It was during Occupy Wall Street. I wasn't here for Occupy Wall Street. I was here for a lesser-known protest called Occupy Luxury Suite. It was day 6. I was bored. It was late in the afternoon, so I figured maybe I'd call some of my friends in New York and tell them I was in town. Have a nice lunch. And I did. I called them up. We had made plans. And then I went outside to catch a cab. And that's when reality set in. I'm still black in America. It was 4 o'clock. It was hot. You know how New York gets in the summer when it's hot? It was that sweltering, do the right thing heat. And I'm standing out there trying to catch a cab, and I can't catch a cab to save my life. But then I remembered I was staying in a luxury suite, and there's a guy there that's supposed to help me out. So I go to him, and I say, sir, I'm having a very difficult time catching a cab, and I'm against the hotel. And he said, Mr. Chappelle, absolutely. Why don't you wait in the bushes, and we'll get a cab for you. And I said, that's a great idea. So I hide in the bushes, and I'm waiting for this guy to catch a cab, and it's taking him a long time too. And while I'm waiting, I see a homeless guy. I'm assuming he's homeless. He looked disheveled, and he was digging in the trash, but very deliberately, not an idle sifting. This guy was on a mission. He was digging in the trash real hard, and I was staring at him, not in a judgmental way. I was just looking at him like, damn, this guy's really digging in the trash. And as I said it was as if he heard me. And he looked directly at me while I was hiding in the bushes. And then he started walking directly towards me. And as he got closer, I could see that he recognized me. I could see him put my name together. Oh, not Chris. And as he got closer, on his face I saw hope and desperation. When he got real close, I couldn't take it anymore. It was too intimate. I screamed at him. I jumped out of the bushes. I said, don't come any closer. And he said, I just need some. I said, don't even finish that sentence. Get away from me. You stink. You stink, I said. And he looked at me and I saw fury in his eyes. And then I saw hurt. And then I saw resignation, like he remembered something. And then his eyes just drifted slowly down to his own tattered shoes. And instantly, when I saw that, I felt so much better. Just then my cab came and I jumped in my cab. I went uptown to a restaurant called Italy. It was fantastic. I highly recommend it. They serve huge portions. I couldn't even finish my lunch. And they comped my lunch. And then I was uptown, so I figured I'd do some shopping. And I did some shopping uptown. And then there I was at Columbus Circle, trying to catch a cab downtown. And again, racism reared its ugly head. I couldn't catch a cab downtown. And then I remembered, holy shit, I have $5 grand in cash on me. So I went across the street to Central Park South, and I caught a horse and buggy all the way from Central Park South back downtown to the village. It was beautiful. By this time, the sun was setting, and there was that orangish, purplish glow in the sky, and I had a blanket over my lap, concealing an erection that I had for absolutely no reason. It turned out to be a wonderful day. Then I got back to the hotel, and I guess who was across the street? The same homeless guy that I had seen earlier. And to be honest with you, the sight of him disgusted me. I ran to the hotel door, and the only thing that stopped me was I saw my own reflection in the glass. There I was, spaghetti sauce on my face from my expensive lunch, arms filled with shopping bags, and I must have Medusa'd myself because I stood there for a very long time. And then, the story's going nowhere, but the guy that helped me earlier saw me and he said, Mr. Chappelle, are you okay? Do you need some help with your bags? And I said, no, I don't. I need you to just keep an eye on me because I have to go across the street and take care of something. And I ran across the street to that homeless guy that I'd seen earlier. And as soon as he saw me, he was mad. He said, I said, look, man, I'm sorry. That's why I came over here. I just wanted to let you know that it was wrong for me to say that. And to be honest with you, I couldn't even smell you when I said it. I didn't know that you stunk, but you do stink now that I'm close. just wanted to let you know that I was wrong and I'm sorry. And his eyes softened. Now I couldn't see any anger or anything. Matter of fact, I couldn't even read his expression. He just looked at me for a long time. It made me very uncomfortable. They said, you know, deep down I think I'm around this area. Because I was hoping that I would run into you. I was gonna punch you in the stomach. It takes a real man to know when he's wrong. And it takes a bigger man than that to admit that he's wrong. And you coming over here and apologizing to me. He said, that's no little thing, young man. And I accept the apology. And I said, well, thank you very much, sir. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but I had a wonderful day today. I said, it was a beautiful day. And the only time I felt bad all day is when I thought about you. And he said, that's fucked up. I said, I know. But I did think about you when I was shopping, and I bought you something in case I might have saw you. He said, you bought something for me? I said, yes, I did. And I set all my shopping bags down, and he went up to that shopping bag, and he looked in there, he said, oh my God. I said, not that one, motherfucker, this one's for me. And I handed him a Macy's bag. He said, oh my God, is this for me? I said, it's for you, go ahead, look. He said, this is a brand new lime green velour Sean John sweatsuit. I said, yep, same shit Puffy wears. And he said, man, thanks, young man. And he started to put it on right there on the street. I said, wait a minute, that's not all. Look in the pocket. They looked in the pocket, and he was like, is this a, I said, that's right. A marijuana cigarette? I said, yes, that's right. He said, I have not smoked marijuana since Vietnam. But I'll smoke it if you smoke it with me. I said, well, I hadn't planned on putting my lips on the same joint as you. Sure, why not? I'll light it first. And I lit the joint. We literally sat there on the dumpster right there in Soho. Smoked weed. Me and his homeschool. He had on that lime green sweatsuit. Kind of looked like Oscar Grouch as the sun was setting. I know you guys are mad right now, but the point is this. We are all incredibly privileged people. And you know, I was the first guy on television to ever say, give Donald Trump a chance. I know, I fucked up, I shouldn't have said that. Huge mistake on my part. It's going worse than I ever dreamed it would go. It really is going bad. I think he's in trouble. I think, like, I'm worried about his well-being as a dude. He doesn't seem like he's... The guy held a press conference where he asked the media to stop finding shit out. He said, no, I don't think that's gonna work. You ever see that press conference? You don't know how scary the things that I see in my briefings are. I don't think you're supposed to tell us that, sir. Tell us that shit is scary. Who does that? Even as a parent, do you do that? So the kid saying, hey, little man, look, I'm 3 months behind on the rent, and I'm worrying this month. I don't know if it's gonna work out. Come to school and have a productive day. I don't know. Maybe the last few more months. Every day when you wake up, you never know what he's going to be next. Donald Trump. He's exciting like you thought a black president would have been. He's action-packed in a way we never dreamed the president would be action-packed.
That's great.
It is a crazy shit. Donald Trump said we should not let any Muslims into the United States until we can figure out what's going on. And I think that's way out of step with the way people feel in America. Am I wrong on that, or was it me? I think you guys are not a good gauge of how people actually
You're largely rich white New Yorkers. You didn't even know he was going to win in the first place. I'm the Jane Goodall of white people. I live amongst poor whites. I study them. And I have no problem with any white person, but poor whites are my least favorite. A lot of trouble from them. But I knew he was going to win. And I just felt like he was out of step. Like, I feel like most Americans believe that we respect each other's beliefs, whether we share those beliefs or not. I know I feel like that. Even out there in Ohio, it's like that. I respect everybody's beliefs except for whatever Amish people believe. I can't stand seeing them. See, I took a long pause because I meant that shit. I don't respect those beliefs. I was driving down the street and I stopped my Porsche whenever I see them horse and buggies. All the Amish people know me, not from television, just because I stop every time I see them. Ezekiel. He says, get away from me, E. Ezekiel, come on, bro. Are you sure? You sure God doesn't want you to have any of this technology? He said, you tried to tempt me like the devil. Devil! I'm trying to put you onto the game. I just went 30 miles in 25 minutes. It's a big world, Ezekiel. You don't even know what the weather's going to be tomorrow, do you? You don't even know there's a valuable Pokemon on your shoulder. We don't let any more Muslims in the country until we figure out what's going on. I already know what's going on. It's like 17 mass shootings in the United States. 4 of them were done from Muslims. 7 countries that are banned have none of those 4 people from them. The other 13 shootings was done by crazy white people. And you don't see us banning white people from benefits to keep the rest of the audience safe. Not only is it wrong, it would be catastrophic to the Robin Hood Foundation's bottom line. There were no white people here, we'd only raise $300, maybe $400 tonight. That's not. We all need each other. Is he going to get impeached? Trump? No, I don't want that enthusiastic correct. I want somebody, I know there's a guy in this room somewhere that's like, yes, he is fake. And I'm like, yes, he is. His wife still lives in New York, doesn't she? Nobody wants to, you guys probably know in person. I forgot where I was. Sorry about that. I'll just Google the shit when I get off stage. Hey, how are you, man? You look great, by the way. They asked me to come here for 15 minutes. Sure, they regret it. I am the other Westmore. I read that. The other Westmore. I know Westmore's in here somewhere. Congratulations, West. Every time I see you, I'm impressed beyond my wildest dreams. Never met Wes personally, but I'm definitely impressed. You know, because I know Wes. Is that you? Hey, man, it's very good to meet you. Not even the 60s. All this shit started in 1945. That's when America just fucking lost its mind. It was after that Second World War. Think about it. Because black Americans went off and fought in the war. They went to Europe. They made more money than they ever made in America. They might even got their dick sucked by white women. And then they came back to the United States and they looked around and they said, you know what? I don't like the way I'm being treated around here. But it wasn't just black dudes. At the same time, all the women in America went into the workforce because all the men were gone. That's when you see that old poster in the 40s with that dyke like, we can do it. That's where that's from. And these women made money, and then the dudes came back home and started telling these women what to do, and they were like, yo, I'm not feeling you, nigga. At the same time, the CIA started experimenting with a drug in San Francisco. Back then, nobody knew about it, called LSD. By 1960, all the white kids in America were like, it works. And a new school of thought was unleashed on the American consciousness. People had never even thought like that before, and now they were thinking like that in mass. White kids in mass were like, fuck our parents' plans for us. By the time 1960 rolled around, the President of the United States was 42 years old. He was the next best hope. And they blew his brains out in Dallas, in fucking parade. That's the most gangster shit. There were 8 major assassinations in the 60s. Kennedy, X, King, Everett. And then, by the 70s, the white youth culture and the Black Panthers and the black youth culture started to merge. And you started to see Timothy Leary meeting Eldridge Cleaver in Africa, not Oakland. And that was the beginning of the 70s, one of the most turbulent decades this nation has ever seen. And I say all that to say this, that in that turbulent historical context, Bill Cosby raped 34 people. Every time I turned on the TV, I saw another old woman describing one of these antique rapes. These rapes were old school. They'd be like, and then Bill Cosby pulled my bloomers down. Bloomers? I saw him peering through me through a large cloud of vagina hair. Vagina hair? I've seen that in years. I saw this shit. I said, these people are obviously trying to destroy Dr. Cosby's rich legacy. Right? 34 allegations later, I was still like, man, he probably only raped 13 or 14 of those people. Do all that raping. It's like 50 fucking rapes. And don't forget, each one of these rapes have 8 hours of sleep in them. It's like 1,000 hours of rape. Packed into an otherwise busy schedule. Short corporate rapes, that's what I support. Why would they sleep? That's what I don't understand. Why is Bill Cosby making all these girls sleep? Like, look, man, I'm not even as famous as Bill Cosby was, but I know 20 girls I could call right now and be like, yo, come on to my place for a drink, and I'm gonna put something in it, and you're gonna fall asleep, and I'm gonna fuck you while you're sleeping. And they'd be like, cool, nigga, cool. What time you want me to come over? Is that a train here, that train? Trains do something to black people. Didn't you feel like running for that train? I've never been in a situation where I needed to. Something about being black, nigga, you just, when you hear a train, we'll say like, I've gotta go. Just wanna run away. No, man, for real, it's not comfortable like it used to be. I don't know how transgender people beat black people in the discrimination Olympics. If the cops shot this many trannies, you'd be like, it's a goddamn conspiracy. Right. The niggas gonna start wearing high heels just to feel safe. Problem, officer? Was my bag and purse all matched? Is there a problem? There's too many, man. It's too many. There was one good one in California where the lady got beat up in traffic. You see that shit on YouTube? Yeah. And they beat the shit out of her. You watch the tape, you be like, well, what did she do? Turns out she didn't even do anything. But the good news is the city of LA decided that the court should award her $1.5 million for pain and suffering. Which, if you know anything about money, is as much Marcos Maidana made to fight Floyd Mayweather the second time. It's pretty good considering this woman never trained a day in her life. You can see it in the tape. She didn't come to fight. She took too many shots. She covered her gut, punched her face. She just wasn't doing it right. What? You know what's funny about being in San Francisco? First of all, the city's not even gay anymore. Gay people can't afford to live there. They just visit. Gay people got their money tied up in other shenanigans. Where you from, bro? Where? Canada? Well, all right, you can get off the watch list. You know, America has a racial hot seat, which belongs to black Americans, but I know you sat in it for a while. I can honestly say Arabs and Mexicans sat in that seat. And we, the black Americans, would like to thank you both for your sacrifice and your struggle. Everybody goes through something, but at least I can leave my backpack someplace. If you leave your backpack, you got 20 minutes to find that shit before they send a robot to blow your luggage up. Don't you remember San Francisco when that motherfucking tiger jumped out of the cage and bit those people up? And San Francisco is so gay, the whole city blamed the tiger. No, they blamed the victims. They didn't even say shit about the tiger. They said these people were teasing that tiger. That's irrelevant. Tigers should not be able to jump out of the cage and kill people at the zoo. They said that that tiger chased one of his victims 400 yards. Listen, you know how fucking fast you have to run to outrun a tiger for 400 yards? Nigga probably woke up in the hospital with an NFL recruiter standing over his bed. You did good, son. You did very good. I know this isn't a good time, but I'm with the Cincinnati Bengals. Complete coincidence. I think we can tie something in and do something really big with you. One of the guys the tiger bit was Mexican, and the other two were Arabs. I said, who trained this tiger? Homeland Security, like everybody? I gave that tiger some beans. You smell those beans? You can smell that. Go get them. There's some curry. I see a lot of Indians in San Francisco. I always wanted to be in a Bollywood movie. Because Bollywood movies are deep, but at the end of the movie, no matter what kind of movie it is, there's always a dance number to make you feel better when you go home. Even if it's Precious. At the end of the movie, Precious would just jump out of the coffin. I don't have AIDS. You ever see Precious? Boy, that was a sad movie. Yeah, that was tough. If you haven't seen it, you know all the statistics of living in urban life in America. But if you could picture all those statistics happening to one person for 90 minutes, that was Precious. Life through the book of that fat bitch. And the music haunted me. Because the music was like, you know, like, I don't know, break beats or something. If they had Eddie Vedder do the score for Precious, I'd have killed myself in the movie theater. They had some of that, like, Smashing Pumpkins. Precious was morbidly obese. She couldn't read good. She was a victim of incest, and the baby had Down syndrome. Still the first verse, nigga. You gotta see the movie. She caught AIDS at the end. She might have had it the whole movie, but at the end she found it. That's one way to lose weight, you know. It's a fucking movie. Precious is a fictitious character. I'm sorry. It's a fucked up movie. It was a fucked up movie. I got scared when I went to see Straight Outta Compton. And Eazy-E caught AIDS at the end. That shit freaked me out. Because I didn't know you could get AIDS from firing your manager. You didn't see Straight Outta Compton? Easy E caught AIDS in the last 10 minutes of the movie. He just started, you good, nigga? You all right? Yeah, I'm good. Who catches AIDS like that? AIDS does not sound like that. It's a racking cough. And AIDS weird that a disease came out of nowhere in the 80s that doesn't kill anybody but niggas, fags, and junkies? What kind of disease hates everybody that old white people hate? I think the government hid that shit in disco balls. Only fun people get AIDS. You never see that guy? I think I'm gonna stay home and read a book. And like they would say, I think I'm gonna just go stay home and cook for myself. You all right? Remember when Donald Sterling made that tape? Said all those bad things about black people? That tape was fucked up. But that goes to show everybody, if you get old and white and racist in America, whatever you do, don't tell your black girlfriend about that shit, because that's who made the tape. She taped everything. The tape was embarrassing. He was like, stop bringing these black guys to my games. We were all listening like, well, how you gonna have a game without us? There's gonna be a lot of bounce passes and layups in that shit. And then it turned out the black guy he was speaking of was none other than Magic Johnson, NBA legend and billionaire. Unfucking believable. Didn't even mention the fact that he had AIDS, which is the first thing I would say to my girlfriend. This guy must be very racist if AIDS is the footnote. How many of y'all work for Google? Nobody? Thanks, Fuse. That air horn always pushes the joke through. You ever do something regular, but if you do it with the air horn, it sounds better. Like once I pulled my dick out at a New Year's Eve party. Real traumatic experience. I'd been drinking. It's really fucked up. I had to make all new friends. I did it on the 10 count. Them motherfuckers were like, 6, 5. And I was saying to myself, what if I pulled my dick out? They said 3. And then I looked down and said, oh no, it's out! That air horn pushed me over the top. I pulled that shit out of the... I was like, oh! Man, when that nigga pulled his dick out, that really set the party off. Okay. Before I did Killing Them Softly, when I was 22, HBO gave me the biggest opportunity of my life at that time. They gave me a half-hour special, but this shit was not like a special, you know what I mean? It was like, it was generic. It didn't even have a title. It was just Dave Chappelle. And I shot it in San Francisco at a place called Broadway Studios, which is on the second floor of a building. And beneath Broadway Studios is a nightclub. And the special was only supposed to be 30 minutes. And I got ready, I practiced, I did all the shit I was supposed to do. And the night that I taped, 20 minutes into my 30-minute set, I'll never forget this, music started blasting from the nightclub underneath. You could hear it real loud, and it fucked my whole show up, and I was devastated. I was a young man. I really believed in what I was doing, and I thought that my dream had been killed. So when I got off stage, I ran down the steps to the alley behind Broadway Studios and where the control trucks are parked, and I kicked that motherfucking door open, and I started yelling at all the producers. I was nobody in show business, just a guy that believed in us. I said, man, you fucked everything up. That fucking music, what the fuck were you thinking? And there was a guy who was a big-time producer, I ain't saying no names, and he stood up, and he said, hey, kid, sit the fuck down. He said, we didn't ruin anything. He said, we made a deal with that nightclub to not play music, and they didn't honor the deal. And I said, who didn't honor the deal? And he pointed to a guy. I'll never forget it. It was an old white man sitting in the Ford Taurus by himself. And he said, that guy right there. And I didn't waste no time or ask no questions. I went to that Ford Taurus, and I beat on that window, and I said, open the door, motherfucker, I want to talk to you. And that old man looked at me for 1 second and wisely drove the fuck off. And left me in the alley cussing at anybody who would listen. And 2 minutes later, literally 120 seconds later, couldn't have been any more than that, the doors of the kitchen in the alley of that nightclub underneath Broadway Studios flung open. And that old man was standing there, that same old man with reinforcements. He had 2 big goons with him, and he looked at me, and he was calm as a cucumber. He said, you, come here. I want to talk to you. I didn't know anything about the streets at this age. But I found out later in my life that these men were Russian mobsters. And I don't know what you guys know about the Russian mob, but these are the niggas that killed Denzel in Training Day. And all the producers knew what I was up against. They said, Dave, do not go in there. And I said, fuck y'all. And I walked right into that kitchen, and they closed the doors behind me, and it got dark as fuck in there. And I knew, I'm not dumb, I knew I was in a bad situation. But you have to understand, I believed in what I was doing, and I didn't give a fuck. Just kept cussing at these motherfuckers, telling them how they ruined my life. And that old man couldn't believe that I was talking all this shit. And as soon as I took a breath, he stopped me gently. He said, hey, kid, listen. Your friends lied to you. He said, we made a deal, but your friends never paid me. And when he said that, I realized I was locked in a kitchen. I realized he was telling the truth, which would make me wrong. And the very moment that I realized I was wrong, for the first time, I was afraid. You see, it's a funny thing if you believe you're absolutely right. You can get drunk off the feeling of how right you are. That's why gay people are so mean. But I didn't buckle. You guys would have been very proud of me. I was scared, but I didn't buckle. I said, well then, sir, I owe you an apology. But I believe that no matter what reason that music was playing, it ruined my life. And that old man looked at me with sympathy in his eyes. And he walked over to me and he gently placed his hand on my cheek, which I gotta tell you, is a very emasculating thing to do. I was standing there looking at this nigga's hand on my cheek like that. And he said, you are a real man. And he tapped me on my cheek. Real soft. Just like that. The doors opened back up. The light from the alley flooded into the kitchen. And I just walked out alive. I lived to fight another day. And in that moment, I learned one of the most valuable lessons of my life, and I have to share it with you. And that lesson is this. In your life, in any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. I am a very powerful dreamer. Yeah, I'm not lying. I dreamed tonight, this very night, as a 14-year-old boy, and I am living it as a 50-year-old man. My dreams are very strong. Today, I walked all around Washington. I used to be poor in this city, and all day people just said, hey, Dave, like they knew me personally, and I felt like I knew them. And I say to myself, my God, Dave, what a powerful dream. But then sometimes I feel regular. Just feel like myself. Maybe I'll smoke some weed and be in some nightclub and feel shy. But I'll look across the nightclub and I'll see some guy that no one's ever heard of. But this nigga worked all week and got bottle service. And his bitches bringing Moet with sparklers to him. And I picture in my mind he's Persian. He's doing some kind of weird Persian dance. And he got 6 bitches at his table because he got so much liquor. And they all call him saying, go Cena, go Cena. And I'll be looking across the room like, oh my God, I'm in that guy's dream. I can hear him telling his friends, hey, how was the club last night? Man, that shit was fantastic. I had bottle service. I seen Dave Chappelle across the club looking at me like, ooh, who was that? And that's the trick to life. You have to be wise enough to know when you were living in your dream. And you have to be humble enough to accept when you're in someone else's. It's why I don't judge between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Because you guys look at them as big ideas, but I look at them as fellow dreamers. I can't judge between them because I see myself in both of them. I am Will Smith. I am the man that cannot take it anymore and will slap the shit out of the next person that says a crossword to me or somebody that I love. And I am Chris Rock. I am the man that can get slapped in front of the whole world and keep my composure so I don't fuck anything up. That is what men do. Men make boundaries. Men enforce boundaries, and men test boundaries. And no man tests more boundaries than a trans man. When I see a fellow dreamer, I give them my utmost respect. Even if I don't understand what their dream is, I know a dreamer when I see one. And I've met many powerful dreamers in my life. None more powerful than a man who calls himself Little Nas X. I met this nigga at a party. I had no idea who he was. But the minute he walked in that party, I knew I was in his dream. Everybody in the party was another dreamer. Everyone was famous, but when that nigga walked in, he was dressed like C-3PO. He was shining. And everyone was like, oh my God, there he is. That's Lil Nas X. I didn't know who he was. And for some reason, out of all them dreamers, he walked right up to me. And he said, I tried to get you in my video. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I said, what? I said, what? What video? And he just looked at me like, you know what video, and walked away. And I watched him walk away. I said, man, this nigga's having a very powerful dream. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when we was in grade school. Remember in grade school, the teacher would ask everybody what they want to be? Timmy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Timmy acted like he had an idea. He'd stand up, he'd say, I want to be a fireman. And the teacher would say, Timmy, that is a beautiful dream. But Timmy didn't mean it. Timmy said he wanted to be a fireman because deep down, Timmy's attracted to fire. And by the time he's 14 years old, this nigga's a full-blown pyromaniac, playing with kerosene and matches like a goddamn expert. And then one night he goes downtown with his buddies, fucking around with fire, and burns a warehouse down. And he doesn't know it, but there's 13 migrant workers from El Salvador, and they're in that motherfucker. They get trapped, and then they die in the fire. Isn't that a tragedy? Well, it was an accident. He's only 14 years old, but he's black. So they try him as an adult. And Timmy ends up spending the rest of his life in jail. Dream deferred. Burp, burp. What about you, Billy? Billy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Billy stands up and he says, I want to be president of the United States. And the teacher says, oh my God, Billy, that is a wonderful dream. And Billy means that shit. Billy does everything right. That motherfucker gets his grades up. He joins student government. He even does extracurricular activities like show choir just to make his resume look good. He's on track to be president, but junior year he wipes. When he's 16, he gets his girlfriend pregnant and has to drop out of high school to make ends meet. But lucky for him, the local Walmart's hiring. By the time he's 20 years old, this motherfucker makes assistant manager at Walmart. He's the youngest one in the district. He says, oh my God, if I can keep this up for 4 more years, I could be a manager. And if I can keep this up for 6 more years after that, I could even be a regional manager and have as many as 3 Walmarts under my control. And he's a big picture guy. He sees where this path is going, so he kills himself. Well, what about you? What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't want to say, because I don't want the other kids to laugh at me. Who cares if they laugh? Your dream is yours. Own your dream so they can come true. Say it loud and proud. What do you want to be when you grow up? Little Nas X. And that nigga stood up in front of the whole class. I want to be the gayest nigga that ever lived. I want to do a music video and slide down a stripper pole all the way to the depths of hell and suck the devil's dick at 10 o'clock on BET while all the kids are awake and can see me. Shockingly, that was the only dream that worked out. That's why I'm here tonight in the city where I built the dreams that I live. Because I wanted to tell you all that they came true. And I wanted to thank you all for making the man that I am today. Yes, I am living a very powerful dream. Every time I come to this city and I stand in front of you, I realize that, my God, man, this is not my dream at all. It's yours. And I am honored to be in it. Thank you very much, Washington, D.C. I'll see you next time.
Hello mọi người, tiếp tục với cái series đó là lợn Peppa nhé. Thì hôm trước em đã giới thiệu đến cho mọi người đó là một chú lợn Peppa màu hồng, một chú lợn Peppa mà để Peppa bố, Peppa mẹ. Thì hôm trước em đã giới thiệu đến cho mọi người cái chú Peppa mẹ rồi nhé. Thì hôm nay em sẽ giới thiệu cho mọi người lốt đó là một chú lợn Peppa bố. Đây là chú lợn Peppa bố nhé mọi người nhé. Đấy, mọi người có thể thấy đây. Đây là một chú lợn Peppa bố đây. Đấy. Peppa bố luôn. Đây là một chú lợn Peppa bố. Đây là... hôm nay chúng ta sẽ tìm hiểu tiếp tục cái series lợn hồng Peppa nha. Cái nhân vật hoạt hình ở Anh đã trở thành biểu tượng văn hóa hái ra tiền ở tại Trung Quốc luôn. Đấy, nhân vật hoạt hình này thì là một biểu tượng hái ra tiền ở tại Trung Quốc luôn, mọi người có biết không? Đấy, từ khi tập đầu tiên được chiếu ở Trung Quốc vào năm 2015. Đấy, nóng quá. Kể từ tập đầu tiên mà được công chiếu ở Trung Quốc vào năm 2015 ấy, thì khán giả Trung Quốc, khán giả tại quốc gia này đều yêu mến đến Peppa Pig, Peppa Hồng đấy, nhân vật hoạt hình này với khuôn mặt trông giống cái máy sấy tóc đến từ Anh. Đấy, mọi người có thể thấy giống cái máy sấy tóc không? Đây là cái đầu của máy sấy tóc như này. Tuy nhiên không chỉ trẻ nhỏ mà cả người lớn cũng phát sốt vì nhân vật này luôn. Mùa hè năm ngoái Peppa đã trở thành một trong những chủ đề bất tận để chế ảnh cười đấy, ảnh mentor ảnh cười đấy. Đến giờ cơn sốt Peppa đã đạt đến tầm cao mới, thậm chí còn có người nổi tiếng ở Trung Quốc còn tận dụng Peppa để thu hút sự chú ý của mình nữa. Đấy, mọi người có thể thấy nhé, rất nhiều người đang tận dụng cái cơ hội để Peppa này trở thành một vật vô cùng đặc biệt như thế. Trên TikTok hay còn gọi là Douyin thì nền tảng video nổi tiếng ở Trung Quốc đã có trên 30.000 video ngắn gắn hashtag là Peppa. Đấy, tính đến khoảng tháng 9 năm 2018 thôi nhé. Trên Douyin thì series này được xếp là 9,2 điểm. Đấy, 9,2 điểm. Mùa 5 của Peppa ra mắt từ tháng 12 năm 2017 thì đã có hơn 14 tỷ lượt xem trên YouTube. Đấy, thậm chí thì công viên lấy chủ đề Peppa dự kiến mở cửa hàng tại Bắc Kinh và Thượng Hải vào đúng năm Kỷ Hợi 2019. Đấy, có lẽ là con giáp được người Trung Quốc yêu thích nhất thì vì hiện tại đại diện cho sự an nhàn và sung túc. Chính vì vậy thì quốc gia tỷ dân này cũng đã dành rất nhiều tình cảm đặc biệt cho gia đình lợn hồng Peppa, thậm chí là còn rủ nhau đi xăm trên cánh tay hình lợn hồng nữa nhé mọi người nhé. Đấy. Ngay lập tức thì dịch vụ xăm hình Peppa đã trở nên hot hơn bao giờ hết. Đấy, khi chúng ta thấy dịch vụ xăm hình Peppa này trở nên hot hơn bao giờ hết này. Phần lớn là hình xăm là hình xăm dán và tạm thời. Theo Tom ấy thì một cửa hàng trực tuyến trên Taobao đã bán được khoảng 30.000 nhá, cái con số mọi người có thể nói 30.000 miếng dán giả của hình xăm Peppa này nhé, trong một tháng. Mỗi khi Peppa xuất hiện trên cơ thể người nổi tiếng thì bức ảnh của bà hoặc video có thể thu hút cả 100.000 lượt like và là điều bình thường luôn. Thì có dịch vụ xăm thật, còn có với dịch vụ cả xăm thật, khách hàng sẽ phải trả trung bình từ 10 tệ là khoảng 35 triệu đồng cho một hình xăm Peppa cỡ lớn này. Đồng hồ, vòng tay, quần áo, thú nhồi bông, đồ chơi cùng nhiều sản phẩm ăn theo Peppa, ấy, thì đã có cả hàng trăm nghìn lượt đặt hàng trên Alibaba. Đấy, chỉ cần một người nổi tiếng mang trên người phụ kiện Peppa thì món đồ sẽ hết vèo trong chỉ vòng vài ngày. Cái sức ảnh hưởng của Peppa rất chi là lớn. Một trong những món đồ Peppa được quan tâm nhất đó chính là đồng hồ chơi hoặc đồng hồ chơi đựng kẹo Peppa màu hồng. Đấy. Thậm chí là độ nóng sốt của nó còn được so với túi xách hàng hiệu của Gucci. Thấy chưa? Mọi người thấy chưa? Thậm chí là ngay đến cả máy thổi không khí này cũng dùng để nhóm lò cũng biến thành tặng phẩm nóng sốt trong mùa lễ hội Trung Quốc về đầu xuân 2019 vì nó giống Peppa. Đấy. Thậm chí cú xúc làm theo kiểu Cú sốc làm theo kiểu đời nhà Thanh, vẽ hình béc ba đạp xe đi lêu hêu cùng cũng được xem như là một cổ vật đấy. Giản dị nhưng gần gũi, chứa chan tình cảm gia đình. Đấy, hầu hết các tập phim đều lấy cảm hứng trải nghiệm của các gia đình. Thì một ông bố và hai đứa con, một bộ phim thì là gợi lại cái ký ức tuổi thơ của, thậm chí là cả cảm giác lần đầu được làm cha của béc ba này nhá. Có một tập phim béc ba làm tôi nhớ mãi là khi tôi và chị gái còn nhỏ phải lấy bày bán đồ chơi cũ ngoài cửa hàng để lấy tiền mua kẹo ngọt. Đấy. Rất chi là nhiều những cái. Nếu thường xuyên ngồi xem béc ba thì với bọn trẻ thậm chí ta nhận ra là tiếng cười không tới từ nhân vật chính, đó là lợn chị béc ba, mà là lợn bố vui nội. Đi đây, đây là chính là lợn bố, đây đi daddy nhá. Nhà trị liệu tâm lý trẻ đặt trụ sở tại Lupin, Roland Forty cho hay béc ba là một bộ phim thú vị và đem lại nhiều điều có ích. Đấy. Nhân vật chính của béc ba là nữ, khác xa với hầu hết series hoạt hình có nhân vật chính là nam giới. Thì đó là một thông điệp mạnh mẽ về quyền nữ, giúp trẻ em hiểu được bất cứ ai cũng có cần được đối xử công bằng. Bất cứ ai của chúng ta cũng cần phải đối xử công bằng. Trên thực tế thì béc ba còn truyền tải thông điệp về sự chia sẻ. Béc ba còn truyền tải về sự chia sẻ, tử tế và ân cần. Đấy, tử tế và ân cần giữa con người trong xã hội. Việc ông bà của béc ba tham gia bộ phim khiến người lớn hài lòng và nhấn mạnh sự gắn kết của các thành viên trong gia đình quá nhiều thế hệ, thì chúng ta có thể thấy được rất chi là vui nhộn. Tuy nhiên không chỉ các bậc phụ huynh này lại lạm dụng béc ba vào các chương trình truyền hình, chung như là phương tiện dỗ trẻ. Thật sự ra thì trẻ không nên xem tivi quá 30 phút mỗi ngày, vì có thể ảnh hưởng tiêu cực đến thị giác và tư duy. Đấy. Điều tốt nhất là cha mẹ nên làm là ngồi xuống và xem béc ba cùng con của họ, để giải thích cho chúng hiểu về cốt truyện và cũng như là cách ứng xử nhân văn giữa người và với người. Như vậy mới đúng đắn với mục đích giáo dục của béc ba. Như vậy thì chúng ta mới đúng đắn với cái mục đích giáo dục của béc ba gửi đến khán giả nhé. Cách đây không lâu thì nhiều bậc phụ huynh ở Mỹ cáo buộc hoạt hình béc ba khiến con em họ nói ngọng nước khác. Cụ thể, nhiều trẻ em ở Mỹ đang nói tiếng giọng Anh. Như một đứa trẻ ở London thứ thiệt do xem quá nhiều béc ba. Việc này được gọi là béc ba syndrome hay là hội chứng béc ba binh nhất. Thì ngoài việc chuyển qua nói giọng Anh như gia đình lợn béc ba, trẻ em người Mỹ thường xuyên ụt lợn như trước đó khi nói chuyện với nữ trẻ, đó là chắc vui, nhưng mà người lớn thì thấy kỳ lạ. Thế nên là các bạn cân nhắc là đừng nói trước mặt bố mẹ nha.